Shortly, the Vice-Chancellor, accompanied by the academic procession, will enter the graduation hall. When they've taken their positions on stage, Advance Australia Fair will be played, and we invite you to join in the singing of the national anthem. Would you please stand for the academic procession?
Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Budringini, everyone. Good evening, and Nalawa, welcome. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish firstly to pay my respects to the country and its people, and to thank the university for their acknowledgement of us and the invitation to welcome you here this evening. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated. My family, in fact, descended from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. And so he enrolled his daughter, Bulungari, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up by Governor Macquarie in 1815, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, and it became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. And that was probably better understood in more traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by the strict sharing laws, which meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune with us enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 240 years ago, he encountered a people whom he described as one of the happiest people he had ever met. They owned nothing but the tools they carried. They made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and harvested food from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. Now, these were not primitive societies, these were ancient cultures. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, no rents or mortgages, and no homelessness. People cooperated to collect the resources which were needed, and then they were shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained with fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. So this is not a dream or an ideal. This was normal life for the longest time, and not too long ago either. And I don't see there's any reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us. But we're a clever people, and there's still much magic in the world, I believe. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your lives. Life is normally good, and we are meant to be happy. I would suggest you share your gifts with the rest of us and keep following that beautiful spirit within you that got you this far. Do this, and I'm confident that together we can create a country and a world that we can be proud of, and a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. Just want to say congratulations to all of you and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Vice-Chancellor, Professor S. Bruce Doughton.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your wonderful welcome to country. We always enjoy having you here, and for such a warm, generous, helpful and informative, I believe, welcome to country as well. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you. Colleagues, guests, families, and most importantly, our graduands for this evening. It is a great honour for me to welcome you to Macquarie University tonight for this graduation ceremony. I bring our graduands and your guests the greetings of our Chancellor, the Honourable Michael Egan AO, who is unable to be with us this evening and has asked me to preside in his stead, as he has another commitment that was unavoidable. I hope this evening will be a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you, our graduands, this evening. I welcome you all, graduands. I also noticed as I came in a number of small children and a couple of babies, tiny babies. It's often the circumstance at evening graduations, particularly for our MBA class with families here. And I want you to know that babies and children are always welcome in graduations where I preside. Our Chancellor always remarks, and I agree with him, that any celebration is always made better by the presence of young children, with their joy. And I also want you to know that we don't expect them to stay quiet. Last time I checked, it's very hard for a youngster to sit through an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 of a graduation ceremony without raising a little noise. Raise as much commotion as you want to, children. It's all part of the fun of being part of a grand celebration of a Macquarie University graduation. And I can say that because I'm a paediatrician by profession, so I'm used to wailing children, sick children. It's wonderful to see children excited with joy. So I'm used to it, and our Chancellor, in fact, will always remark that as a retired politician for 30 years, he had heard far worse commotion in the House of Parliament than any number of children could ever cause in a room this size. So do feel welcome with your youngsters here. Don't feel compelled to take them out if they start to squirm or make a commotion. They're very welcome. Today we want to celebrate the wonderful achievements of our graduands here today. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind, determination, perseverance, and you make many sacrifices along the way as well. You've all worked very hard to get where you are here this evening, and you have every right to feel very proud of your accomplishments. We at the university are also very proud of all that you have achieved, and I'm pleased to be able to congratulate each and every one of you here personally tonight. I also want to especially welcome those seated at the rear of our graduands and on my left over here as invited guests of our graduands here this evening. The mere fact that you have been invited here this evening is proof positive that you have played a very important part in the lives of our graduands and made an enormous contribution of influence to getting them to this point this evening. So, invited guests, welcome to you. Congratulations upon your achievements as well, and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us tonight at Macquarie University. Now, graduands, you may not realise that you're about to participate in one of Europe's oldest social rituals. If you were to pick a date of, say, 1500 AD and look back and see what social institutions existed back then that still exist in our society today, there are in fact about 60 such institutions. If you take away the Roman Catholic Church, the parliaments of England, Iceland, and the Isle of Man, and 6 Swiss cantons or local government areas, the rest of those institutions still around today after over 500 years are universities. In fact, graduation ceremonies just like today's are even older than that. For more than 800 years, graduates have been donning gowns just like the ones you are all wearing here this evening and participating in ceremonies just like the ceremony we're about to move into shortly. And since those earliest graduations, the ceremony of exit from university degree has remained almost unchanged, a defining feature in the life of every university and the lives of students over the centuries. Now, we realise, of course, all of us here tonight, that Macquarie University is not one of those ancient universities. We are just over 50 years old as a university, and though we are among very young universities in the world, we are very proud to take part in this time-honoured tradition with you here this evening. I would advocate that youth, however, does have some advantages. We as a university are a very modern and outward-looking organisation. We are regarded as one of Australia's leading research institutions and are continually progressing by extending our research, our course offerings, and modernising our campus and facilities. We now have over 184,000 graduates of this university spread across 140 countries around the world. It's very clear that we are a forward-looking university and that we are on the move. However, some of the things that have been a tradition at this university, I believe, will never change. The friendliness of our staff and students is often remarked upon to me by visitors who come to the university, and we anticipate that that will always continue. A sense of warm welcome into the community of this university is a fundamental part of our history and our being as an institution. And please remember, graduands, that you will always be welcome to come back home to Macquarie University. We take our name, Macquarie University, very proudly from a man whom I believe was Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, whose greatness and achievements were never really acknowledged in his own time by his contemporaries, but more throughout history. Now, those of us who were educated in the New South Wales school system were always taught that Governor Lachlan Macquarie was a great builder. And while that is true, and certainly many of the fine colonial buildings in the centre of Sydney and far beyond have his name attached to them as being part of their foundation. But I believe that his greatest legacy had nothing actually to do with bricks and mortar at all. It was the ethos that he established in the early colonial community, much to the annoyance of the British authorities at the time, mind you, of an egalitarian society. For it was Governor Macquarie who decreed that in that early fledgling convict colony there should be no distinction between the free man and the freed man. There should be no distinction between a man who had served time and been released from being a convict from a man who had come to the colony as a free settler right from the outset. And that, I believe, is the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for everyone. And it is certainly that legacy that we want to perpetuate and honour and maintain at this university in his name's sake. Macquarie University will always be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of wisdom, knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. Ladies and gentlemen, academic and professional colleagues, and most importantly tonight, our graduands, I offer you the warmest of welcomes to Macquarie University. And in just a few moments, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you all as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Now, at today's ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to honour, in accordance with a resolution of the University Council, Mr. Peter Morin, for admission to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa of Macquarie University. I now invite Professor Saki Pretorius, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Research, to please read the citation for Mr. Morin. Professor Pretorius.
I invite Mr. Peter Morin to stand for the citation. Peter Morin is a businessman who has had significant influence on the aged care sector in Australia. He is also a philanthropist who has made major contributions to the arts and education. Mr. Morin is the son of Doug and Greta Morin, who founded the Morin Healthcare Group, and he carries on the work of his parents, now as managing director of the group. Through Mr. Morin's leadership and foresight, Morin Healthcare has grown into a leading aged care provider operating throughout Australia. Mr. Morin received his MBA in 1995 from the Macquarie Graduate School of Management. He served on the MGSM Advisory Council until 2010 and continues to be an engaged and active alumnus of the university. Mr. Morin's wider commitment to the community is particularly evident in his work with the Morin Arts Foundation. The foundation supports two of Australia's major art prizes, the Doug Morin National Portrait Prize and the Morin Contemporary Photographic Prize. The foundation also supports photography education in schools, including programs for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students and those who are socially disadvantaged. The Morin School Photographic Workshop program introduces children to new ways of seeing the world, encouraging individual and collaborative creativity and building self-confidence. Each year, 150 workshops are held in metropolitan, remote and rural areas for 4,500 students in years 3 to 12. Mr. Morin is deeply passionate about helping to support creativity, about building self-confidence in children, and about helping our elderly to find better ways to age with dignity. Vice-Chancellor, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Peter Morin for the award of Doctor of Letters honoris causa in recognition of his contributions to aged care in Australia, to arts and to education, and to Macquarie University.
Ladies and gentlemen, Macquarie University is proud to claim Mr. Peter Morin as one of our own alumni. Mr. Peter Morin, in the name of the Council and of the University, and by my authority delegated from the Council as Vice-Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa. I now invite Dr. Morin to deliver the occasional address. Thank you.
Good evening, Vice-Chancellor, members of the University, graduates and guests. Thank you for the honour and privilege of being invited to give this occasional address this evening. I remember when I graduated, some 23 years ago, sitting where you are sitting now and thinking and steeling myself to be bored by an occasional address. I wasn't then, and I hope that you won't be now. I'm not comfortable with public speaking, but I was not going to let this opportunity pass me by. This evening, I'll endeavour to provide some insights into the family business into which I was born. I'll talk about the passion that I've developed for it over the past 50-odd years, and I'll share some of the wisdom passed on to me by my parents, together with a few of my own life lessons that have shaped me into the way I do business today. This evening, however, is about you people. I'd hope that as well as being pleased with your achievements, that you would also be feeling a little thankful to others. I refer to your family, your peers, and your lecturers. Indeed, everyone who has helped you climb to the peak and readied you for your future career. None of us ever make it on our own. I remember the satisfaction I felt when I finished my own higher degree at this very university. Cherish the richness and the experiences and the relationships that you have built here during your days on campus. In all the years since my graduation, I have continually engaged with the Macquarie alumni. May I say that those relationships changed from providing the nurture and nourishment of emotional support whilst I was studying to a valuable network of peers as I set about building my career. Do not underestimate their value. Welcome to the Macquarie University family. As I mentioned in my opening, I was born into both a family and a family business. Both the family and the business began small and grew large. I'm the eldest son with 6 brothers and sisters. My father was a business broker, my mother a medical student who switched to nursing. The family business that Mum and Dad started together employed them and each of my brothers and sisters and me for a lot of our lives. We were each encouraged to establish ourselves in our varied and chosen careers before moving into the family business. In this way, we brought a wealth of diversity and fresh experience back into the business. It was a place where we each found our niche. At one time, we had aged care homes in both the UK and Australia. We employed in excess of 9,000 people. We were at the time the largest private provider of aged care in Australia and Northern Ireland. It is no coincidence that all my brothers have remained in the aged care industry. So why did we stay in the aged care industry after the breakup of the family company some 7 years ago? Well, I suppose it's an industry that we all know. And when you know something well, it's easier to identify and realise potential opportunities. What about those life lessons of mine? My first lesson is to always take the long-term view, whether it's buying to hold or investing in assets that have a long cycle to return. This attitude will contribute to the company's long-term profitability. There will always be pressure for short-term gains. However, this may destabilise the long-term viability. Lesson number 2 is to keep the emotion out of your investments. 2 of my passions are art and property, but there is no room for emotion in a decision to hold or to sell. That's a personal challenge for me, but awareness of one's own weakness is often sufficient encouragement to overcome a natural reticence to do what you know is the right thing. Lesson number 3 is loyalty and trust. Loyalty, and I'm not thinking here about a president demanding loyalty, but rather demonstrated loyalty. I think I'm slow to trust. That's probably a hangover from something I haven't bothered to ferret out of my early psyche. But trust in others, particularly staff, is something that develops with time. Loyalty and trust are paramount when building a cohesive team. For me, there is a reward in caring for the elderly, and it's not only financial. We say that the aged care sector is like running a 5-star hotel and a hospital at the same time. Why? Because all our guests are ill and need care. Between government legislation, sometimes reasonable, sometimes onerous, and operating with a large, relatively unskilled migrant workforce, together with senior staff scarcity, there are an untold number of challenges. With Australia's bicentenary in 1988, our family decided to give something back to the nation. We launched the Morin National Portrait Prize, Australia's richest art prize. We later created the Morin Photographic Prize and, most importantly, the free children's workshops, which run free photographic workshops for children in schools all over Australia. Your education has given you the confidence to have an opinion. Hopefully you will have the maturity to know when it is appropriate to share it and the sensitivity to deliver it with respect. Our vision at Morin is to make every day the best that it can be for our residents, regardless of their stage in life. I would encourage a similar attitude to everyone here. Take lessons learned and examples set at Macquarie University to heart. Go forth into the world and wherever you find yourself, in work and in life, make it the very best it can be. Thank you.
Well, there tonight, ladies and gentlemen and graduands, we've had a graduation oration in the finest tradition of such addresses. I think if you go back, graduands, in your future, if you're in the business world, in any vein at all, if you find Mr. Morin's address on YouTube, which is where it will be preserved on the university website forever, you didn't know that, did you, Peter? But it will be. There are words of wisdom in every single sentence and every single word that Mr. Morin spoke to us about this evening, about the importance of thinking about the long view. That came into my mind just this very day last week, actually. I was in Prague on university business, walking through a shopping mall, and I saw a Bitcoin investment vending machine in a shopping mall, something I had never seen anywhere in the world. And I thought about short-term and long-term. Dr. Morin spoke about that this evening, about keeping emotion out of investments, about loyalty and trust. Every single phrase, every single word was deep in meaning in Dr. Morin's address tonight here. And I urge you to give careful thought. I think he deserves another great round of applause. Thank you. As Vice-Chancellor of this university, I always especially look forward to presiding at ceremonies such as tonight's, when the Chancellor allows me to, which is not very often, and conferring degrees upon those who have achieved all of the requirements of the university to be awarded the degrees. The Chancellor always expresses a view at this stage of graduation ceremonies that this is the part of the ceremony where he gets nervous. And he gets nervous because a very senior member of the judiciary apparently once informed him that if he confers a degree upon someone who's not actually eligible for it, he can't take it back easily. So he asks the registrar of the university to certify that none of you were ever late with an assignment or missed a class or anything like that. So I'm going to call upon the registrar, Ms. Gail White, to formally certify the eligibility of all of our candidates for degrees this evening. Registrar.
Vice-Chancellor, I certify that all of the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees please stand? That's all.
Yes, that's all of you. You may now stand. In the name of Macquarie University Council and by my authority as Vice-Chancellor delegated from the University Council, I admit each of you present and those absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Vice-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Business and Economics and I call on Professor Susan Ellis, Director of the Macquarie Graduate School of Management, to present the graduates. Professor Ellis.
Vice-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from MGSM, the Macquarie Graduate School of Management, and from the Department of Economics, both within the Faculty of Business and Economics. The Department of Economics has a long history of commitment to service and engagement. Its strong research foci, from financial risk and macroeconomic stability to health and development economics, and to the economics of the arts, heritage, and culture, speak of this department's commitment to an economics that engages with business and societal challenges and prepares our future leaders and citizens to participate in and contribute to those challenges' solutions. MGSM, since its inception nearly 50 years ago, has delivered a comprehensive suite of postgraduate and executive education programs led by the flagship MGSM MBA, designed to fulfill the needs of experienced management professionals. Its MBA alumni now number more than 17,000 across 135 countries, comprising members of the C-suite, senior executives, entrepreneurs, consultants and advisors, and politicians in Australia and around the world. MGSM focuses on developing leaders with a global mindset who create sustainable value and are good citizens. And in that, it shares a philosophy with the Department of Economics, where both of us seek to deliver a graduate who is not only knowledgeable in his or her area, but who understands the importance of balancing doing well with doing good. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics, whom you have admitted to degrees. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Emily Catherine Haldane. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce, Imran Ali. Hira Noor Bajwa. Amy Bennett. Karan Billy Moria. Daniel Boys. Wing-Yan Chu. Callan William Grima. Shengziwa Jin. Alkin Kalyon. Priyanka Kapil. Chloe Lopez. Andy Liu. George Nazis. Akshay Nichkauda. Nathan John Passaporte. Michael Pellegrino. Martin Daniel Punzalan. Supriya Rajesh. Jason Damota Rebello. Benjamin Reedy. Amy Elizabeth Rogers. Sandra Jung. Chuk Lai Wong. Duo Zhang. Perry Zuglis. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Economics. Sitan An. Haise Bien. Jiahang Tsai. Mao Chai. Jonathan Hardy. James Michael Herbert. Junshi Jiang. Jiaheng Lai. Ming-Chun Sun. Jun Wu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Business Administration. Tanuj Abrol. Shalom Amana. Jessica Kathleen Apfel. Gautam Ashok. Carolyn Gale Bancroft, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Gopi Jaswant Bimineni. Praneet Kumar Bonapali. Joanna Jane Boundy. Hector Jose Castro Lago. Swapnil Devdas Chavan. Arash Ahmed Chowdhury. Kelly Marie Christensen. Vanessa Jeanette Caldwell Chule. Martin Trent Curtis. Mark William Di Rosario. Shalindra Pravit Da Silva. Kiran Deal. Berkai Dingel. Ankur Diwakar. Harrison Dixon. T. Kam Twa Do. Mirjana Dragutinovic. Parnita Dugal. Sekhar Ganpathy. Sorry? No, I'm so sorry. Nathan Peter Gale. And now, Sekhar Ganpathy. Pulkita Garg. Shane Patrick Garrett. Asit Amritlal Gokani. Deepa Gopinath. Max Gunn. Gurpreet Kaur. David Bernard Hayden. Olivia May Hopkirk. Ji Jing. Melissa Kesby. Sheng Ye Ku. YY Lei. Frank Qianfeng Li. Ian Schwerhern Lee. John Yaotsung Lee. Brett Joseph Lewis Driver. Hanjie Liang. Zeong Liu. Meng Liu. Atesh Mani. Robin Matthew Babu. Ian James McDonald. Thomas Elliott Mee. Juan Ignacio Mendez Rodriguez. Taki Michaels. Magdalena Kinga Mihalowska. Tariq Mohyuddin. Anila Cherie Muki. Benedict Thomas Mulcahy. Mini Muralidharan Nair. Damian Michael Nasser.
Brother and sister.
Jinga Oyong. Daniel James Palmer. Kapil Singh Parihar. Luke Anthony Perkins. Nicole Louise Peters. Sally Pines. Sylvia Katerina Pothoven. Pushkar Banu. Kartika Ramachandran. Krishna Ramaratinam. Brendan Jack Root. Melissa Gay Roser. Therese Marie Ryan. Siddharth Sadanand Samant. Kashish Sambyal. Daniel de Lima Santos. Federico Seldner Sada. Shweta Sharma. Swati Singh. Tracy Ann Stevens. John Christopher Sturt Adicott. Rie Suga. Raghunandan Sudhakar Surve. Timothy Leonard Swan. Rachel Charlotte Simon. Paramhans Pratik Tana. Emma Dominique Thompson. Jeremy Ian Thompson. Daniel Eugenio Troncosa Tolosa. Elizabeth Katrina Uliana. Samata Valuri. Marcelino y de Rosario Villanueva. Andro Niklas Vlahovic Cabrera. Jingju Catherine Wang. Jill Whitehouse. Stanley Bruce Wilmot. Jan Wirt. Rachel Oike Wong. Jian Xu. Tianchen Yang. Maria Cristina Zara. Asung Swandi Zhang. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Commerce. Amreen Khan Naureen. Ehmud Abdul Rahman. Ferhat Tanriverdi. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Economics. Shinrong Jiang. Jinsan Liu. Yana Susan Zeman. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Management. Akib Akram. Akshay Arora. Ishesh Bagri. Prahalad Biswal. Samyi Anissa Chung. Lin Deng. Muhammad Tariqul Islam. Saurabh Srikant Kulkarni. Ishita Mathur. Loveness Mosia Mupaso. Zeshan Riaz. Juan Felipe Rincon Laverde. Rohit Kumar. Arnava Saini. Aditya Milind Sawant. Pratmesh Rakesh Kumar Sharma. Surya Sharma. Samrat Shokeen. Caitlin Marie Tan. Serena Kaur Harsaran Singh Totea. I present diplomats awarded the Graduate Diploma of Management. Danielle Kari Bevans Sunval. Karan Bhatia. Joanna Agnieszka Fak. Brian Notley. Ryan Keith Sharat. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Research, Tara Kumar, for a thesis entitled The Impact of Gender Inequality in Education on Long-Run Economic Growth. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Lindsay Clyde Stubbs, for a thesis entitled The Railways of Burma, Their Past, Present, and Future. Vice-Chancellor, that completes this evening's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics.
Vice-Chancellor, I call on Ms. Jessica Kathleen Apfel, who was graduated today with a Master of Business Administration, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Ms. Apfel.
Vice-Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests. Today is an exciting day for us. It has been a wonderful learning journey, and what I've come to realise is that we learned not only lessons on management, we learned lessons on life. I'd like to start by thanking the faculty who have stretched our thinking and opened our minds to new possibilities. One of the great aspects about MGSM is the diversity of voices and perspectives that we are exposed to from the lecturers. From the professors who are at the heart and soul of MGSM, to the adjuncts who provided further links to industry. Each one of them has brought something special to our course. They tapped into our curiosity and they struck a chord, be it Professor John Croucher with his probabilities of risk and chance, Professor Robert Spillane with passages of Plato's Republic, or Dr. Andrew Hayes, who fostered healthy competitive rivalry against other business schools. Many of the lessons, though, have come from our fellow graduates. We have pushed each other to think beyond our boundaries. We have engaged in rigorous debate and learned how to influence without position or rank. We have shared many highs, a few lows, and certainly lots of coffee. Part of the magic of MGSM is that this is truly a global MBA. There is diversity of thought, background, culture, and life experiences to learn from. In fact, one of my syndicate groups had a banker from Bombay, an ice hockey player from Sweden, a management consultant from South Africa, a sustainability manager from Brazil, a geologist from Namibia, the heir to a construction empire from Chile, and a Mexican who owns a turkey business, the self-proclaimed king of Turkey. Together, we learned how to solve problems in a different way. We learned how to deal with pressure and how to think more creatively. The memories and friendships will last a lifetime. To our families and guests here today, even the noisy children, we offer you our heartfelt thanks. Many of you will have endured late nights and weekends away from us while we studied. Thank you for supporting us, for encouraging us, and for helping us through. And a personal thank you to my husband, Rob, without whom I wouldn't be here today. To my fellow graduates, as you embark on the next phase of your journey, I urge you to consider one of the biggest lessons MGSM has taught us, and what I believe sets us apart from other business schools. That is, to think deeply, not just about what we want to do in the future and what we want to be known for, but to think deeply about what we stand for. We have been taught to have the courage to look closely at our global social responsibilities and to stand up for what we believe in. So today, I congratulate each of you on reaching this point in your journey and for the impact you will have on the world in the future. I wish you good luck.
Well, Jessica, congratulations to you on your degree this evening and also on a very fine speech. I think again here tonight we've had a wonderful example of an address which gives wise words and heartfelt thanks, particularly to those who supported you all along the way. And that important notation in Jessica's remarks right at the end about staying true to that notion that you must always stand up for what you believe in. Very, very important advice and thoughts from Jessica. I wish you well, and I think she deserves another great round of applause for a very fine address. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that magnificent voice belongs to Ms. Angela Brewer, and we're very delighted to have Angela sing at almost every graduation at the university. And the Chancellor, when he presides, is often want to note that you are particularly fortunate, graduates, to have Angela sing at graduations, because on the odd occasion she can't come, he does the singing. And I can assure you, if you were relying on me tonight, it'd be far worse than even the Chancellor singing. So we're delighted to have Angela. I think she deserves another great round of applause. I'd like us also to take a moment to thank our musicians. On the organ, Dr. James Forsyth. On the Chinese transverse flute, Dr. Chai Chang-ing. We're also very fortunate this evening to have a very loyal and dedicated group of alumni volunteers who come to support the procedure at graduation. Some over this way, some over this way. Let's give them a round of applause. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks a change in your relationship to Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end of your association with us. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of that larger Macquarie family, the alumni, and part of a network, as I mentioned before, of over 184,000 graduates around the world. We will keep in touch with you through the Alumni Relations Office, and I hope you will come back here to Macquarie University, perhaps to visit the campus, attend alumni events, maybe undertake further study, although I think that's probably not on your minds just at the moment, or simply to wander around our beautiful campus. Graduates, the award of a university degree affords many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it's my view that the university degree also carries with it significant responsibility. I urge you to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I urge you to set ambitious goals for yourselves and your lives ahead. I urge you to continue the hard work that has already brought you this far. I urge you also to think carefully of how you might help others out along the way. You don't have to do much sometimes to make a really significant difference in someone else's life. You don't even have to be Einstein to change the world. Sometimes simply a kind gesture or a word of support means an enormous amount to a solitary individual in a time of despair or distress. So I urge you always to give thought to what you might do for others along your journey of life. I challenge you to continue to exercise sound judgment and initiative, and to always be generous in offering practical advice and wisdom to those you meet along the way. My hope is that you all, as graduates of this great university, will use what you have learned here not only for the betterment of yourselves, but also your families, and particularly your community. And in all you do, I urge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. I hope also that you will always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom are here this evening. And so to acknowledge their contribution to your success, I'm now going to ask our graduates to do a couple of things for me. Firstly, I'd like all the new graduates to please stand. Now I'd like you to turn around and place your testimonies on the seat behind you, face your families and friends, and give them a mighty round of applause of thanks. Now, if you would please turn around, but don't sit down just yet. Here on the dais are representatives of our academic staff who have supported you throughout your journey. Please join me in thanking them as well. Now, graduates, please remain standing, but do turn around briefly and pick up your testimony from your seat. I wouldn't like you to leave that behind. The official party will soon leave the auditorium, followed by the graduates. And as we do, Dr. Forsyth will play the traditional recessional music for graduations. This music has been played at graduation ceremonies for centuries across the European world. The music goes with an age-old set of Latin lyrics, which begins as Gaudeamus igitur nos habebit juventutem, which translates as, therefore let us rejoice, for we will always be young. The song speaks in a whimsical way of youth and old age at the very same time, about the brevity of life and the inevitability of death, of city, of state, and of happiness. Again, to the newest graduates of Macquarie University, my warmest congratulations and every best wish for futures filled with success, satisfaction, and most importantly, happiness. Now might I ask everyone to please stand. Shortly I will lead the official party out to be followed by the graduates. I then invite you all to follow the graduates down the pathway to the marquee for some light refreshments. In closing today's wonderful celebration of your marvellous achievements, I say again, Gaudeamus igitur, therefore let us rejoice.